the Big Rob Theory coming at you again, and today I'm going to be reviewing for you Aquaman. To start things off, I want to say that personally I really enjoyed this film. It was a very fun film. It wasn't the best of the DCEU films, but overall it was pretty good. I love Jason Momoa because he's also in Game of Thrones as Khal Drogo, so got a little more liking from the movie for that, just because his performance as Aquaman in Justice League and Aquaman as well is pretty good. But overall, yeah, as I said, it was a pretty decent film. A little back history for you about Aquaman. So Queen Atlanna, who is the queen of the Atlanteans at the time, and Tom Curry, who is a basic human being, come together. They have a child, Arthur Curry, and of course because his mother is Atlantean, he is part Atlantean as well. Therefore, he has the ability to breathe underwater, see underwater, different superhuman abilities underwater. It is forbidden for Atlanteans to mate or even associate with surface dwellers, as they call them. So, of course, they were going to find out that the queen was missing. So that's kind of where you get the whole his mother isn't in the picture, even in the comics and everything, because she has to go back to Atlantis. So basically the whole movie surrounds itself around Arthur taking his rightful place into the Atlantean culture and as the rightful place as king. But unfortunately right now there's a different king in place. So you got a little power struggle going on. Amber Heard, quite a great actress. She plays the beloved character of Mira, the daughter to King Nereus. So that's another empire within Atlantis. It's made up of 7 different kingdoms, and overall, over time they've dismembered, disassembled. They had their separate kingdoms, but there are a few that are still pretty powerful right now. So King Nereus is played by the actor Dolph Lundgren. He is the ruler of the Zebul Empire within Atlantis. And King Orm, who is played by the actor Patrick Wilson, is the ruler of the main Atlantean Empire, if you will. So the power struggle comes into play here because King Orm is also the son of Queen Atlanna. So you have King Orm and Arthur Curry, who are brothers or half-brothers. So, yeah, some drama there. Yeah, basically, throughout the film, it's all about Arthur Curry kind of genuinely taking his place as Aquaman, or the rightful king to the throne. So, I'm not going to say anything else about the plotline because I just want to spill beans. I've got to say, Willem Dafoe played this character called Volko, who he trains Arthur while he's growing up and kind of, oversees his protection, if you will. He's a pretty noble guy, and he does a pretty good job of playing that role. NicoleKidman, I've got to give it to her, man. She played a pretty good Queen Atlanna. I wouldn't say I was surprised, but I was taken back by how well a lot of these actors and actresses played these characters. It was a great watch. Like I obviously had some grievances with some of the acting at times, but it was nothing crazy. Definitely recommend that you go see this as a comic book fan or as a DC fan, So I'm gonna outline a couple dislikes. There aren't many, but there's enough. First thing, the CGI at times, man, it was a little off. And I get it, there's people who are really good at that. I can't do that. But sometimes, especially underwater, which I know that's probably hard to do, and get everything perfect, especially because it's kind of superhuman people underwater, so it's a little difficult to get the CGI properly. There were times where you would be like, damn, somebody definitely missed an editing spot right there. Like, wow, that's pretty bad. It wasn't too much of a damper on the movie, if you take away anything from this review, it's that even though there were some slight flaws and stuff, it doesn't take away from the movie. You already know what I'm gonna say about the action here. Your boy loves a good action sequence, and a majority of the action sequences in this movie were pretty damn good, I'd have to say. And like the only thing I would say about anything in the movie is some of the CGI, but even during a lot of these battles, it was awesome. Like, it was just awesome. Like, I can't help it. I love me some action. While I was doing some research on different reviews and stuff on the movie, I saw that IMDb rated it a 7.2 out of 10. I'd have to agree with that. It's a DCEU film that is trying to help bring back the DC franchise. I firmly believe that a 7.2 is pretty darn good, especially because of certain minor quirks, as I said earlier. I've honestly got to say that before seeing this movie or seeing Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I was not the biggest fan of Aquaman. I don't think many people were. I mean, obviously there is a fan base for DC and all, major people of the Justice League, but Aquaman was never one of my favorite heroes. I liked him because I love, marine life, I love water, and, he's based underwater. He's Atlantean, so that's pretty cool. It never, stood out to me as a comic that I would go out of my way to, like, buy and own, like, several of them, But I did read some of them. I gotta say they took a little bit of a different approach, especially with Jason Momoa's ethnicity and with just certain ways that his character did things as Arthur Curry, and that's fine. That's actually great. I like that they're doing something different. You got to grab people's attention. You got to grip people with these movies nowadays because people are so picky with everything. They nitpick every teeny tiny sequential thing. And it's just enjoy the movie for what it is. Of course you can say what it is you want to say about it that you don't like. By the time some people get done with reviews, they're picking apart like every minute of the movie. It's like, well, then why the hell did you review it? That's just. So the tone of this movie, as I was saying earlier about how I like how it's a light-hearted DCEU film, that's basically the tone that I would say that is set in this movie. It's a pretty light-hearted film. There's some pretty interesting humor throughout. I think you'll definitely get a chuckle in every now and then. I mean, I laughed quite a bit. So I think majority of you, if you haven't seen the film already, when you decide to, you definitely will chuckle.
What?
Shouldn't we have written it down first?
I memorized it. Didn't you?
Oh, yeah, totally.
What did you just say?
Something, trident.
There wasn't any time that I was bored during this movie. Despite the minor dislikes I had, I was never bored. I was pretty much well engaged the whole time, even through some of the slow parts. As I said, it's a little bit of a build-up, even the iconic villain of Aquaman, Black Manta, they finally, introduced him, and they introduced him in such a great way. I loved that. I loved how they did that. I'm curious to see how they progress with Black Manta and make him, a little more prominent into the DCEU. In the movie, he's called Manta, but in the comics, it's Black Manta. So just throwing that out there. So again, I'm gonna have to rate this movie a 7, maybe a 7.5, maybe a 7.5, only because I, again, love a lot of the actors and actresses in this movie. So yeah, I'll personally give it a 7.5. Thank you guys so much for watching yet another The Big Rob Theory video and review on a DCEU movie. I really appreciate the support, and I love all this stuff. As I say in majority of the videos, I love how all these comic book lores are coming to life. They might be different than the comic books, but hey man, that's how you make things interesting. That's how you, grip more fans that probably didn't dive into the comics but still love these kinds of movies. If you liked this review, please let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, please and thank you. Let me know, what your thoughts were on Aquaman. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think about the action? What did you think about the CGI? Thank you guys again for watching this video. I hope you continue to watch these videos because why not? Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next review.
That was awesome.